Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, I was getting worried there. So, good evening and happy Stampers. Welcome. Welcome to our live viewing audience and those who are watching on replay. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you give StreamYard permission so I can see your comments. Because I do not have my phone on. I will put it on so that I can see comments. Otherwise, I don't see them until the end of my broadcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, welcome. Be sure to subscribe up there so that you can always get notifications of when I come on. So let me go here and see here. Okay, get back in. Just a couple technical things here. Just wanting to make sure I am on live. So let's see. Come on. Okay. Oh, it is on. So I'm going to put my phone over here and hopefully there won't be any interference. And oops, I should be able to see comments then if I'm not working. So tonight we're doing a fun technique. I have not done this technique in quite a while, and it is called reverse watercoloring. And our images will remain white and our background is what we're coloring. So it's just the opposite. Normally we watercolor our images and we'll leave the background white or a color. But tonight we're doing the reverse. So I hope you guys enjoy learning how to do this. And so I'm going to flip you all around. Make sure you say hi when you come in so I see that you're here. And if you're watching on replay, please comment in say replay so I know you watched, and please share if you're enjoying what I'm bringing because I know your friends want to learn this too, right? So I'm going to flip you around and get right there. So as you can see, we are using the Dragonfly Garden stamp set, and we are going to be using the punch also. Those are going to be our images that are out front, and they are going to remain white. I may color them just a little bit because they're going to be in the foreground. I am going to be using our watercolor pencils. I'm using both sets. The first set, and those have some bright colors in them, and then our assortment number 2, which has even more colors in them. So I'm not sure which colors we're going to use, and it's really not going to matter what colors I use. We also, for another tool, we are going to be using our aqua painters or our water painters. Got some here. I've got a thin one and a thicker one. My medium one is here. It doesn't have any water in it, so we're not going to use that one tonight. But we're going to use that to watercolor. So that is our 2 tools we're going to be using. I am also going to be using shimmery white tonight. Now, I recommend that you do this technique either on shimmery white or watercolor paper. Okay, it holds up to the water a lot better and doesn't pill, doesn't absorb that water as much like the basic white does. So we're going to be using that. Now, I am going to be using a retired stamp set. I looked and looked through my stamps to see if I had some clouds because I had this idea for this card tonight, and I said, I need some clouds. And wouldn't you know, I couldn't find any in my current sets. At least, I'm sure we have them in the catalog. I just don't have any. So I am actually using the Lift Me Up set, and it's just this little cloud that I want to use. We're also going to be using our Stays On ink tonight. We want a waterproof black ink. Oops. Okay. You cannot use, well, you could use Memento, but it will bleed out. So we don't want this to bleed out. So we are going to be using our Stays On, and I want my clouds to remain white, and clouds are white. You could do this with, I could actually use flowers, but I just had this idea in my head. And you know, when you have an idea, it just seems like nothing else works, right? I also wanted stamps that are line stamps for this. So I'm just going to put some clouds on here, just stamp them sporadically. Let's put this one here. Making sure that we clean our stamp immediately when you have stays on, because it will stain your stamps. So that's our bigger cloud. Then I'm going to stamp this little cloud on here. Let's put this one here. Now you do want to leave yourself some room to do your watercoloring, so don't forget that. I just don't want it to be too symmetrical. So we have that. Okay, so now we're going to grab our watercolor pencils. And when I store my stays on ink, because I store it upside down, because if you store it this way, the ink falls to the bottom. But if you store it upside down, the ink will remain at the top of the pad. And also, when you get your stays on pad for the first time, it has this plastic cover on it, and then the lid. Save that plastic cover, and what I do is I put a dimensional on the inside to hold it in there, and that helps keep it from drying, because Stays On is an alcohol ink. Okay, and so that's why it repels water. Okay, so my card base is Flirty Flamingo, and then I have a piece of Coastal Cabana. So I was thinking of sky when I chose my colors tonight. So I want to pick some colors that are going to go with that. So I am going to go in here, and I am going to go to Daffodil Delight. I am going to pick Bermuda Bay too. Let me see if I can find Bermuda Bay. I should have these the other way so that I see the other ends of them, because it's hard to tell from the tip. That's Bermuda Bay. And then I want a little bit lighter color, so I do want some balmy blue in here. And this looks like it would be balmy blue. Let me see, probably, yep, balmy blue. And a little bit of orange. So do we want pumpkin pie or calypso coral? I do have Flirty Flamingo, so we could use Flirty Flamingo since that's the color combo we have. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to take my pencils, and I am just going to start scribbling some color. Doesn't matter how you do this. It doesn't have to meet up. I'm just doing some blotches, and I am making sure that I have enough color on here. Let's do some over here. This is going to be kind of a sunset. So let's get some color there. So that is our balmy blue. I'm going to go in next with my Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to color in some Daffodil Delight. Let's get, you know, there's really no rhyme or reason to how I'm coloring. I'm just coloring. And this brings the kid out in you. You know, I believe that you sometimes need to kick off your shoes and play in the rain puddles and play in the rain as it's coming down. Just let loose, and you can just let loose with this technique. So we've got our Daffodil Delight there. So now I'm going to go in with my Bermuda Bay. And I chose Bermuda Bay instead of Coastal Cabana because it is a little bit darker, and when we water this down, it will be lighter. So I think I'm going to get some more balmy blue in here in a minute. So just color away and scribble. My grandchildren would have a blast with this. Let's put some in there. Let's get some underneath this rain cloud. And just a couple dark spots. I don't want too much. Okay, let's go in with the pink now, with the Flirty Flamingo. And we're going to fill in a lot of these spots. And I want it by my Daffodil Delight. I can mix it in with the Daffodil Delight. And remember when these colors mix, so when it mixes with the blue, it's going to make a little bit of a purple color. When it mixes with the Daffodil Delight, it's going to make a little bit of an orange color. So remember that when you're coloring now, okay? You don't want it to look muddy. And just color in here some spots. I like the pinks and the yellows together. They make beautiful skies. And I am pressing fairly hard on this, you guys. I am putting pressure. Okay, so we've got that. So I am going to go back in with my Balmy Blue. And I do want to, ooh, is that Balmy Blue? No, it's Bermuda Bay. But that's okay. I just want to get some more blue in here. So we're just going to, you know, even intermix it with the Bermuda Bay. It's okay. Get a little bit more in here. Just, you know, right now it looks like it's a big mess, right? But it will come out beautiful. And usually when I teach this technique, I used to have a technique club, and every month we would get together and we would learn a new technique. And they would want their paper to come out exactly like mine did. And I kept telling them, you can't, I can't even do that. No matter how I try, I will not be able to get my sky looking the same as I did this time. So what I did is I took a little bit of water out on this because I want to get water in my brush and not drip down. I don't want too much water on here. So I'm going to take my water and I'm just going to start swiping across. And I'm going to go into the blues first. And you will see that the Bermuda Bay does add a little bit of green to it. So pick up some more water and sticking to those blues. So you don't want to wash in your pinks and yellows with your blue. Okay, let me squeeze this and get some water in there. Okay, so you could start with your lighter color first. It really doesn't matter. But you do not, once again, you do not want to color over the other color. You want to stick with your blues, and where there's white spots, it will get lighter. That's okay. It's the sky. So I want to meld that and pull that color out. So see how those white spots, the colors are melding out into that, and we're creating the sky. So we're just going to bring that water just like that and up around that cloud up to the Flirty Flamingo, but we're not going to go over it. And you can wipe off some of the color if it's darker than what you want. And how I do that is I just go over like this, and I am melting, I call it melting, but it's blending that blue Bermuda Bay into that Balmy Blue. Okay, and I can add more water, and then let me grab a paper towel. I'm going to show you this. So if you wanted this lighter, I just take my paper towel and I can wipe it, and see how that makes it lighter. But I just keep playing with this, and that's again why you can play with it with more water when you have your watercolor paper. We're using shimmery white tonight, so I'm just going to wipe some of that off. I do want that a little bit lighter, so I can play with that. Down here, I'm going to want that lighter, so I'm going to mix some water in there and just lift. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush now. Okay, so I've got my brush cleaned out. I'm going to go, and now I'm going to go into my yellows and my Flirty Flamingo. And I am going to wash it into the blue just a little bit. I'm melding these two colors together or blending these together. They're going to make an orange. And when it gets into the blue a little bit, it'll be a little bit of a purple. See how that's turning purple? I'm going to clean my brush out. I don't want that too deep of purple. So this is a spotted sunlight, or I call it a painted sunset when your sky is just all different colors. It's bouncing off those clouds. And this, I'm going to tell you, this one came out a little bit darker than I normally do. I did add a lot of color. So that depends. Now you may, looking at this, and if you did want it a little bit lighter, you just wouldn't add as much with your pencils. And I sometimes instruct people not to put as much pencil down to begin with, because the rule is it's always easier to add color than take it away. And go into that, and we're going to go into the blue a little bit. We've got some blue down here, so we're going to meld that and see how that kind of melts or blends into there. Okay, now that's nice and bright. Okay, so we're going to set that aside and we're going to let it dry. So instead of watercoloring our images, we are watercoloring the background in reverse watercoloring. Okay, let me grab my Dragonfly Garden, and we are going to take this guy. He's got a solid. When I put my labels on, I put my labels on the wrong ones. So, and I remember that because I was in a class and I kept stamping, and I wanted the outline body, and it kept stamping with the solid body, and I kept going, why is it doing that? I just don't get it. Well, it was doing that because I mounted the wrong label on there. So it's stuck on there. Let me see if I have a smaller piece of scratch paper here. Didn't want to use a full sheet if I didn't want to. Okay, so we have this. We're going to go ahead and stamp our Dragonfly. And I am going to use the Orchid Oasis. So we're going to stamp this. And it's got to go in here. Like that. Hold it, even pressure. Oh, I love it. And we are leaving it white. I am going to do another one, and I am going to do this one. I'm trying to think of what color I want. Thinking I am going to do this one. Oh, let's go with the green. Let's go with Granny Apple Green. Granny Apple is one of my favorites. I'm going to stamp that right here. So we'll have our two dragonflies. Now I am going to trim this scrap up so I don't waste it, because we do have another small little dragonfly on the top. I'm going to take that, and let's grab our punch here. I just love it when we can punch our images out. There we go, no fussy cutting here. Get this one. And now we're going to add a little bit of glimmer to these with our Wink of Stella. And what that's going to do is that with the Wink of Stella, it sometimes blends out those colors. So your wings aren't going to be necessarily really white. See how it just pulls some of that green? So it actually looks like a dragonfly's wings. You know how they glimmer, but they have those blues and purples and greens in them when you see them flying by. It's about 3 years ago. Oh, actually, yeah, Samantha was about 5 or 6, and her and Grammy took a girls' couple days to go to camp, and we went to the lake, and we actually saw the dragonfly larvae in the lake, and they were climbing up onto the side, onto the sand, and then onto the timbers that were there to dry out and dry their wings out, and then their wings. So she actually got to watch them form into dragonflies. So that was so much fun. So we are going to take this, and we are just going to put this onto our card front. And I am going to offset that up here into this corner here. Okay, now our background, I am going to take my other water painter with the wide brush. And I want to get some water down there. I'll do it over here so I don't get it all over when it drips down. And I am just going to take it and completely swipe. And you may wonder, Judy, why did you wait till it dried? Well, I waited till it dried so I didn't get too much color and it got muddy. So I'm just blending these colors into each other just a tad bit more. Okay, so we don't have so many sharp edges. And just paint across it, making sure you don't go into your clouds or your images. Okay, I'm going to put that down like that. We're going to go ahead and put this down here. Now this would be really sharp too, and I just thought of this. I could trim it down a little bit, but I think it would be really sharp with a black, just a very small mat underneath it. I think that would be a really striking effect. Okay, so now we have our dragonflies. We're going to take our bone folder here. Yeah, bone folder, where is it? Here we go. Been working in my studio today and I didn't clean up before. So outside of my viewing area, I have stuff all over. Okay, so I wanted to bend those up. I'm going to grab 2 of our mini dimensionals, and you may be wondering why 2? Because if I just put 1 on there, it may twist. By putting 2 on there, I know my dragonfly is going to stay where it's put, and we don't want them roaming around. Put that one there. I'm going to curl up these wings just a little bit. They will flatten down. I don't worry about it if they flatten down when I send it. So we are going to put this one here. Let's get this one. Oh, maybe I want 3. Do I want 3? Oh, which way do we want this one going? We want this one going off this way. Well, let's put the sentiment on and then we'll decide if we want 3, okay? So I am going to do thank you for your kindness because I'm going to be mailing this to somebody. So I'm going to grab my scrap here and I'll grab my Memento ink because I don't have to use Stays On with this. And this is where, oh, look at this. I think this is going to fit right in here. You know, I love using every scrap. Well, yeah, every scrap, but make a mess. Let's try that again. If not, I can always bring it over. There we go. Okay. At least I didn't get ink all over my face. Okay, I probably just jinxed myself. We were laughing last night. Some girls came for my in-person club, my hostess club. And we were laughing last night because the one gal goes, yeah, she goes, what is it? Every time you're on live, you like get ink all over. I go, I know. I says, I never, well, I can't say never, but I hardly ever get ink all over when I am stamping by myself down here. But for some reason, when I stamp with you guys, I like to be a child and make a mess. And she said, no, she goes, you know why you do that? And I says, no, why? She goes, I know you're not nervous. She goes, it's because you want to show us when we have an opportunity how to fix things. I says, exactly. I says, so I plan that. So we were just kind of laughing about that last night. It's not true. I just goober up sometimes. So I want to put this here. And I really wish, really wish that I had some black gingham ribbon. Do I want the black on here though? Do you guys like the black? Let me see. Oh, you know what? I have our new ribbons, our in color ribbons, and this is the Tahitian Tide. We're going to tie that around here, and I am going to go ahead and just tie it around this. So let me lift this up, put that right there, put it back down. Going to need some more because we're going to do a bow. We can always move it. Oh, I have used this ribbon quite a bit. If you are a person that likes sparkle, and I'm going to tie a knot and then a bow, you will love these ribbons. They add a little bit of sparkle and pizzazz. They're easy to tie. You can spread them out. I will show you that in a minute. And make it a fatter bow. Get that. Okay, come on. Here we go. So I don't worry about my ears and my tails. I can always shorten those out and straighten them. So we're going to pull, and we're just going to play with it for a little bit here. It's okay, gives us some more time to chat, right? What have you guys been up to today? Is everybody, are your children out of school? All our area schools are now out. So it's so great seeing the kids play during the day. Okay, and I need to pull this one here and that one there, and we got it tight. Okay, so then I take my fingers and I hold the ears up and I pull the legs down because ears are on top and legs are in the bottom. Okay, we're just going to trim that off. Let me grab my ribbon scissors like that. And with playing with that, did I lose my sentiment? Nope, it's right here. So we can place our sentiment right next to there. And we are going to put it on with dimensionals. I love popping it up. I'm going to see if I cut that wide enough to get a dimensional right in there. Ooh, just barely. Look at that. Just barely. It's about 1/4 of an inch. So when you cut your little tails and stuff, if you keep them about 1/4 of an inch, you are golden. Okay, we're going to put that right there. Going to reach over here. Oh, I had my black dots out. And I don't see them now. I am so glad that they are still in the catalog. Let me see if they're in my cabinet here. Oh dear, let me see what I have in its place. I was going to put 3 dots down there. I was going to do black, but I don't have black. So let's see what we have here in my drawer. It may not be current. I need something that matches. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use these and I'm going to color them black because I know that as soon as I get off tonight, I will find them. I had them sitting here to use. So I knew they weren't in my cabinet. So I'm going to grab my black Stampin' Blend. So here's my dark basic black Stampin' Blend, and I'm just going to take the bullet point and I'm going to color them black. Oh, they're not coming out as black as I want them, but that's okay. There we go. Color over this one and this one. So I'm using 3 of these. Let that dry a second, and then we'll place these on here. Okay, I missed the adhesive dot. Oh my gosh. So how many of you, let me know, have done reverse watercoloring? Let me know, please. Comment below. Okay. Hi, Zana. How are you? Oh, it's 1:30 in the morning. Oh my gosh. Hey, Christine. Oh my gosh. You guys came in late, came in early. Awesome. So there is reverse watercoloring. I hope you guys enjoyed this tonight. So the clouds are left white. We colored the sky. And then we just left these white also so they pop off of that card. So this is a fun card. It's a fun technique. I encourage you guys to do this technique and share them in the comments below or just post on my Facebook page. I would love to see what you do. So I will flip you around and say goodbye. Hello. So once again, thanks for joining me. I really enjoy bringing you guys things. And I did want to let you know I did not come on last night. I'm going to have to change the time of our Wednesdays. And Wednesdays are back to the basics. And it's going to be at 4 o'clock. I have some commitments, some classes, and some clubs on Wednesday evenings, and I'm not going to be able to do it at 7. So we're going to do those at 4 o'clock, so not early in the afternoon and not later at night at 4 o'clock. So that's going to be our midday or mid evening one. So until we meet again, everybody, happy stamping. Goodbye.